Have you ever been at a networking event or engaging with someone on LinkedIn and someone says, I've been meaning to phone you? I have that happen quite a lot. I turn up at a networking event and someone in the room says, Steph, I'm really glad you're here. I've been meaning to phone you. My name's Stefan Thomas. I am the author of Business Networking for Dummies, as well as another couple of books. And in this short video, I'm going to talk about how we can use some of the tools. I talked in the last video about buying signals. Go and find that. But once we've got those buying signals, how we can use some of the tools that we've got at our hands to actually engineer it so that we get those situations where more people say, I've been meaning to call you. Can we talk about what it is that you sell? I really specifically use CANDDi, my friends over at CANDDi, so that I can spot those buying signals that we talked about, so that I can spot who's looking at my website. So just around Christmas time, I was launching a new service. It's called Connect, and I was getting in touch with those people who I believed that Connect would be relevant for, to see if they would be interested. One of the first things that will show if they're interested or not is whether they actually click on the links in the email. And what I can see from using CANDDi here is that Tim Beanland in Melbourne, Australia, actually went and clicked on the link in the email and checked out Connect. He spends, according to that, it was 15 seconds. I think he went back there more than once and spent more time than that. But because I knew that Tim had been to look at the website, he hadn't yet contacted me about it, I was able to do a couple of things. I put myself at networking events, virtual networking events that Tim was going to be at. I went onto LinkedIn and his Facebook group and commented on his posts. And Tim said to me, Steph, can we have a chat about that email that you sent me? When you've got the buying signals, when you can spot using a tool like CANDDi that people are actually paying attention to your stuff, it is up to you to take the next step. So I put myself in that situation. I engineer situations where people come back and say to me, I've been meaning to call you. What could you do if you had that information right in your hand? Could you put yourself in the same physical space as someone else? Could you go onto their LinkedIn posts and start commenting on them? Someone a few years ago approached me at a conference and said, look, I'm going to be organizing a conference, maybe not for another year, but I'd like to consider you being the speaker there. For a year, I commented on his posts on LinkedIn to the extent that when he actually got around to organizing the conference, he said, well, I couldn't ignore you, could I? Faced with a buying signal, what we talked about in the last video, it's what you do next that counts. What can you do to take those buying signals forward? What can you do to make sure that you get more of those situations where people say, I couldn't ignore you, or I'm glad you're here, I've been meaning to call you?